How are you doing with the quarantine, bro? How's it going over there?
From the looks of it looks like I'm doing better than you.
Why? What's the matter with me?
I mean, you look like you've been in a binge of of sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Do I look Hunter Thompson-ish? I look Hunter Thompson-ish?
Yeah, you look Hunter Thomas-ish. Yeah.
Have you read his books?
No. Are they good?
They're awesome. Fear Nothing in Las Vegas. Oye, dude, what's going on in the comedy world? Because I know that they're like doing like a fund or like a fundraiser.
Oh yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work.
Bro, when was the last time you did comedy?
I mean, basically not since like I think the first week of March.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a while, man.
And when is it that they want to do it again? Like when do they want to open?
There's no time. I mean, like nobody knows. I mean, it's like this is gonna last till June. I mean, for everybody, you know what I mean? So it's not just comedy, but comedy is like the least thing that people are gonna go to now, you know.
Damn.
So it's right. But a lot of comics right now are doing or some comics are doing virtual comedy, you know, like through like Zoom and stuff like that. But I don't. For me, I don't get it. I don't think it, because to me, comedy is like stand up. It's not like music. In music, you can play by yourself and you don't need an audience. Stand up to me is like tennis. Like the other player is the audience. So it's like if you're just doing stand up by yourself, you're just literally just talking to nobody. So it's like
I know that's insane.
I because people have asked me already. I told them like I don't think it, for me it doesn't. I don't works. I don't know. Like to me, I'm more down to do like a Q&A or like a round table of comics. You know, people asking questions, and then you can be funny that way. And if you want to throw a bit there, but to me, to the setup of like, oh, I'm gonna do shows. I'm gonna do a setup. You know, it's just I don't know. It just doesn't work for me.
Jeez, all right. Well, let's get to something a little bit lighter, dude. You had some scene stealing abilities on Gentefied, dude. I went to I wouldn't call it the premiere. They had a screening before it aired at CAA. Everybody was there except you.
Yeah, because I had to do a show that day. I couldn't do it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But I was. You know what's awesome is that like half the cast are friends of mine. I've seen you guys finally working, grinding, and finally you guys are on a show.
Yeah.
That's watchable, let's be honest, because there's some Latino shows that I'm not going to name the names, but some of them were like, oh my God.
Yeah. No, this was just done very well. I was really proud of being part of it because they did a really great job with it.
And what's awesome is, okay, so you play a chef for people that haven't seen the show.
It's like a line cook.
You're a line cook in a restaurant where Carlos Santos, is his birthday coming up soon. He wants to be a chef, right? And so he's put to this restaurant, and you're the line cook. You're the smart ass.
Yeah.
Now, you get to say that you're Venezuelan. That's a joke that happens in like the first couple episodes because, you know, as always, as non-Mexicans, we're always confused for Mexicans by other people. And that's always a funny joke. Was that put in there after you were cast? Like, did you mention, hey, let's...
Yeah, so the whole thing, I got cast. I got offered the part, and then, in the part, it said that the guy was from... I'm getting this wrong. It could be Honduras or Guatemala or somewhere from Central America, you know? And then, so I came in with like the idea of like going like, you know, I was asking friends. I had a buddy that I work with. I was like, hey, can you help like with the accent, you know, like try to do a Honduran or Guatemalan accent to do it. Because the whole thing was in Spanish. Well, first of all, this is funny. They told me the part was like no lines or something. It's just like a couple of lines here and there, you know? So I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, of course I'll do it. But then I get to the set and then the script, they give me the script and it's got like my name and it's got like all list lines, you know, in Spanish, but a lot. And I'm like going like, what the, I thought it was nothing, you know? So then I'm calling my manager. I'm like the day I have to shoot, I'm like, I have to learn all these lines. I'm like, I was like, luckily they were in Spanish. So I could like, it's easier in a way.
Were you trying to be a diva? Or did you not realize this was going to be a big show and you should have been happy as hell?
No, you don't understand what I'm saying. The part was supposed to be a non-speaking part.
No, I get it, but it should have been a pleasant surprise.
No, it was great. No, I loved it. But to me, I like being prepared. So to me, it's like that I go on set and I don't know the lines, and people are gonna be like, "This guy doesn't know the lines."
No, you know you're gonna know the lines. But did you walk up to like, is Marvin Lemus is his name, and who's the other creator?
Linda Yvette
Did
Chavez.
you walk up to these people, and they're expecting, oh, here comes Francisco. He's gonna be so happy. He's gonna be pleasantly surprised, and then you walk over and
No, I was surprised. I didn't. I just think no, because I think somebody got confused because they actually thought that I was on the they told me like, or my agent they thought that you were on the table read. Like I never went to the table read, so like they thought that I knew all these things and I didn't know. You know, that is just
that you have this way of talking that sticks in people's heads, and there's a lot of times that I think you're there, and I'm like, oh no, Francisco.
It could have been, yeah. I mean, or maybe you just confused me with Carlos because we sound kind of like alike.
You guys are Venezuelan, right?
No, he's Puerto Rican.
What's that? The way you said that? No, he's Puerto Rican.
No,
one of these.
No, he's Puerto Rican.
No, he's Puerto Rican. You said no, he's Puerto Rican.
No, because we talk down. Jeez. That's the accent. No, but so the whole thing was supposed to be in this guy, and then they told me, and then Marvin was like, "Oh no, I just talk like you," and I was like, "Oh, that's great." So I could use my accent. So then they changed the guy to be Venezuelan.
How are you going to do the lines without your accent? You were going to do a different kind of Latino accent?
Yeah. Like didn't you hear? The guy was supposed to be originally Honduras or Guatemalan, so I was going to speak like a Honduran or Guatemalan.
Can you do that right now, like one sentence in Honduran?
No. Like at that point, I was like, I didn't even know what I was going to do. I was going to be something. I don't remember now, but it was gonna sound like complete Venezuelan. You know what I mean? And usually, if they tell me, I try to neutralize the accent more, but they allow me to go like full Venezuelan, like speak like how I speak, which is even better because now I'm getting a lot of people from Venezuela hitting me up on Instagram. It's like, oh man, that was it was so fun watching you, hearing you speak in this show, so it's pretty cool that people are like gravitating to it because and it was also, to me, it worked really well because it's real, like in LA, there's millions of types of Latinos, and the fact that it's like like the fact that they have actually a Venezuelan there, it actually makes it even more diverse too, because having and it makes makes sense too to have a Venezuelan working in a kitchen right now, and it's like, yeah, a lot of people have left the country, right, and now they have to work in kitchens and stuff like that, and that's fine, you know what I mean?
Have you guys gotten any word on season 2?
No, not that I know of, but they haven't said anything. But
I think the first or second week it was in the top 5.
Yeah. No, I think it did really well. I mean, I think I don't see the reason for not then to have a season 2. For also, it's not a expensive show to shoot, and so I would be very, very surprised if they don't give them a second season.
And then if second season happens, are we going to see your character maybe have a little arc?
Hopefully. That's obviously that's not dependent on me. I mean, definitely Marvin and Linda, and then the producers, Terry, and all of them, they were really great they were really happy with what I did. So hopefully they put me in. Hopefully it could have because if you see the whole season, they did give episodes to several characters, which is pretty cool. To give their backstory. So hopefully that happens. Hopefully, that'd be awesome.
I enjoyed your expressions. I tried to get a bunch of the actors when I've interviewed them to talk shit about you. I asked them, were you annoying? I would really lead them. I said, were you annoying off camera, in between takes? Were you constantly giving them directions and telling them what to do and being judgmental? But they tried to be nice about it. I think you made an impression. I think you're coming around.
Well, yeah, no, I wasn't. What I did is when I got to set, I was like, all I told myself is just basically just basically think like you're Humberto, but don't do anything like that.
Right.
And then so I was just trying not to do what you would do.
All right, let me ask you. Speaking of something that I wouldn't do, last year I had Carlos Mencia on the Checkitow podcast.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Did that get under the skin of comedian in you because I had Carlos Mencia, who is this joke?
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't. When I started,
Trejo liked it.
Jesus Trejo didn't like it. I don't know. Why, he told you?
No, his manager, because he was gonna be on, and his manager's like, we'll wait till early next year when he has something to promote. Because the thing is that he's trying to be down with the Joe Rogan. And by the way, I'm the biggest fan of Joe Rogan. I think I just wanted to have this guy come in and tell you.
No, but I don't think that was a bad thing. I mean, to me, again, all that happened before I even started doing comedy. So
you weren't working at the Comedy Store at the door when that happened with Joe
no,
Rogan?
because when was that?
2000. God, you're right. It was 2007, 2008.
Yeah, so that was like I was just first. I think I was still just doing open mics. I don't think I still was working there.
Well, here I have this theory because again, it wasn't like on the episode I'm talking to Carlos Mencia, and one of the things that I say, and if you look at it's actually on YouTube, we have a lot of views, and I've never had more hate for me. Like, oh, it's cringy. He's enabling this guy. He's empowering this guy to steal jokes. It's not that I'm empowering somebody to have stolen a joke. It was more I like people to redeem themselves, but also when I'm a big fan of somebody, I also become critical of moments that, like, they might rethink. So when you watch the video now of Joe Rogan getting on stage and screaming at Carlos Mencia on stage in the middle of Carlos Mencia's set, having Brian Redband film it and put it online, I would love to see Joe Rogan and Carlos Mencia talk about it, and because I think Joe would be really calm about it. And maybe when he watches that video again, Joe Rogan of today, who's all chill, might be like, damn, I think maybe I got a little aggressive, And there's a little backstory about another person that because I love everybody, and I love every comedian. I have a lot of respect for what you guys do, but there's one guy that I have no problem talking shit about.
Meathead?
No, not Meathead. Him too, but you and me, we'll talk about him off camera. No, it's Ari Shaffir, and I think that Joe Rogan. This is the backstory. Joe Rogan got on stage, not defending himself from having his joke stolen. He got on stage.
It was Ari
Shaffir's joke got stolen, but. My theory is that was like Joe Rogan was like 40 around the time. He was probably just starting to get on testosterone, and I think he was looking for any excuse. And because there's other videos of him around that time where like some guy gets in his face and he puts him in a headlock. Some like large lady comic gets into him. He's arguing. So he was very, very ready to fight. Now Joe Rogan isn't a bully, but if you give him an excuse, so I think he was looking for a bully to bully, and that bully was Carlos Mencia, and the excuse was that he was defending his friend Ari Shaffir. But Ari Shaffir's joke that got stolen was a joke that was said by 10,000 people on the water cooler themselves. It was, they want to build a wall.
Yeah. I mean, it's like people sometimes tell me, like, even with some jokes that I have that are like, hey, some person's doing this joke, and I go like, and it's earlier jokes that I did well when I first, and I'm like, yes, I mean, I don't care, because I'm like, they're a simple jokes. So it's like, if they're, sometimes ideas are pretty much, they're, especially if it's like a simple, it's an obvious premise, and, to me, but yeah, I mean, but to me, at the end of the day, too, it's like, hey, man, Carlos Mencia didn't help himself at all by being, bad to comics, and just, that's what happens. Because I think if it would have been, no matter what, if he, he stole or not, whatever it is, some people would have been like, kind of like, at least like a little bit like how this guy, what's his name? Steve Renazizi, with the whole 911 thing that he lied about and stuff like that.
Wait a minute, I used to have a 911 joke when I was doing
No, it wasn't a joke. He lied about being on the towers. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, yeah.
So like, but for example, he was already, he apologized, and he had a lot of industry messed up, and like the industry doesn't kind of like he got a lot of bad stuff happen from that. But in terms of in the comedian world, people still talk to him. People still like, because he wasn't, before that he wasn't an asshole to comics. You know what I mean? So to me, that's the thing. I think to me it's like but Mencia, I think he doubled down on being the bad guy, and then when it comes to defending somebody that's, I mean, even for me, like, again, I don't have any interaction with him. I don't know him at all. But the only few things that I had was when I was working at the Comedy Store, and he would come in and just act like it was his place, and just come in and just react. I mean, it's like I compare it to Chappelle, who's a bigger comic. Chappelle comes when I'm standing there, and he nods and says, "Hey, how you doing?" Like a normal person would do. How you doing? This Mencia wouldn't say that. And when I was working there, wearing the Comedy Store shirt. Wow. So those things like that, to me, that tells you a lot of how a person is. So to me, it's like that really hurt him by not, and that's what That's what happened. And then Rogan, in the other hand, I guess he was the opposite. He was nicer to comics and all this and to stuff like that. So then that's why everybody went like, oh yeah, let's go with Joe. You know?
No, and when I did the podcast, I wasn't as aware maybe the way Carlos Mencia treated comics, bumping and giving them attitude and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
he has this mindset, this weird mindset of like, yeah, they did it to me, so I'm gonna do it to them, which is kind of like, it's such a weird thing to do. Like, I mean, to me, that doesn't, like, if somebody, like I grew up, I mean, like, people were, a lot of people, have been bad to me or assholes to me. That to me, I go like, yeah, I don't, what? Yeah, that was you, a lot of you, yeah. But like, I'm not, to me, I'm going like, I'm not gonna, to me, I'm like, I want to change that. I want to be nicer to people. So then, because I went through that and I didn't like it. So like, for example, one of the things I do is like, whenever comics that are just starting or new or whatever, or they want to talk to me about comedy, I tell them all I can, because I want to help them, because I wish somebody would have told me more stuff when I was, more open about what it was, how to be a comedian and all this stuff.
But there's something about you that, like, you, because of the way you talk and the perpetual sarcastic tone you always have, I think that if you try to be a dick to somebody, it comes across as funny anyway. So
it depends. It depends. Well, I mean, to me, that's another thing too. There's people in the world that are born with that gene, with like where they're assholes and people enjoy it, like, and there are other people that think they can get away with it and they can't. So you have to know who you are, and that's the thing that to me that's not learned. You're born with it. To me it's like Don Rickles, for example. Don Rickles was a guy who could make fun of everybody and people like enjoyed it. You know what I mean? But other people other people could be doing the same. For me, I don't know if that's the case or not. To me, I have to get to know you for me to be like annoying. And then, cause I know that I when I'm making fun of you, you get it that I'm just joking with you. But if I don't know you, I can't just go to you and be like an asshole and be like, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean?
I like it. Who gave me shit about the Carlos Mencia thing is Ari Manis.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
Well, he's in a Corona tour across the U.S.
I know. I think he's back, but yeah.
Don't say hi to him. He's got it.
No, yeah, definitely. He always has something. That he never, because we live. The small building that we live in. We're supposed to take turns taking out the garbage and bringing in those things. In the several years that he's lived here, not once has he done it. Not once. So I'll just throw that out there.
But what did he say about Joe Rogan? I mean, about Carlos Mencia, sorry. That he didn't like that you had him, Ari?
Yeah.
Manis?
Yeah. It was like some. But now I realize, because I think that because he had Jesus Trejo here too, and I think that they were kind of like, to give that guy a platform kind of thing, it is I don't know.
But it's like, but at the end of the day too, it's also like, I mean,
it wasn't
like,
that big of a deal to them, but they made a comment. So, and on Jesus's trip, what I just realized is that Carlos Mencia was probably a dick to him, because he was an up and coming, Mexican American comedian. Carlos Mencia supposedly is even a bigger dick to, like, Latino comedians. So he probably had.
Well, like I said, he wasn't like, he never told me anything personally, but like those things, for example, like saying hi or not saying, that didn't happen, which to me, that was so weird. It's like, yeah, like if I'm a Latino comic and I go to the comic store and I see a Latino guy working or a Latina girl working there, I mean, to everybody, I want to be nice, especially comics that are there, because I know how it is. But if it's like a Latino person, or a man or woman, I'm going to be extra nice to them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, so to me, for him not to do that and to have that, but to me, that's an old school mentality that a lot of, especially Latin comics had before. Like, it's just me and fuck everybody else. And what I like now is like a lot of younger Latino comics and men or women is the opposite. It's more like, let's all work together. Let's all help each other, because to me, that's the common sense. If I help you, first of all, I'll help you because I want to help you. But then indirectly, if I help you, I'm helping myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay, two things, because I'm looking for things to write on, of things I want to hit before I let you go. Pauly Shore, Jade on E, and then Venezuela president. Sorry, I'm not gonna cut that out. You guys are. This is Zoom. All right. So Pauly Shore, dude. I've been watching his podcast, which at first was this train wreck. Have you seen his podcast that he does?
No, no, I don't know. I seen clips of it, but I don't know what it is. Is he him talking on his apartment? Is what it is?
Yeah, well, he has comedians. Hopefully, he has you on soon. Do you know Pauly from the podcast?
No, I know him from the Comedy Store. He's not like. I mean, I don't have that. I think Jesus has more of a relationship with him because he went out on the road with him.
Right. Okay, so Pauly Shore is the son. He's kind of royalty of comedy. His comedy, I think, is hit or miss for some people, but for a kid of the '90s, I remember him, from the silly movies and Encino Man and all that, the Weasel and all that stuff. But he has this new podcast that he's shooting from an apartment in Silver Lake, an apartment you're still living in the same apartment, right? No bigger than yours or mine. So everyone's kind of like, what? Didn't you have like a million?
No, but I don't think I think he doesn't live there. I think that's a different apartment.
No, I think that you got to see it then. He says that he is.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe.
He's leasing his big mansion up in the hills out.
That makes sense. Maybe he's making more money.
He's saving money, but everybody goes there and it's like, whoa, okay, he has like a bed in the living room. I thought it was a studio, but it's actually like a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment. But he has like a bed in the middle of and like, dude, who was a dick to him? Well, Felipe Esparza was on. They were awesome. Felipe was awesome.
So what's the thing? He's just him talking on his podcast.
You gotta watch it. It's not getting a lot of views, but it's growing. And then and he takes the comedians through, like they're looking at the camera from different parts of his apartment. Felipe Esparza was on. It was awesome. I don't know if Jesus Trail has been on, but Neil Brennan was on it. Neil Brennan, I don't know if you know him, but Neil Brennan.
Yeah, I know Neil.
Dick to him.
Yeah.
Is Neil Brennan a dick?
No. I mean, he's been nice. He's nice to me. I've been on the road with him, so I think it's like. It's like that personality that you have to get, again, it's one of those people that if you meet them, I'm open for him.
What then? How did he just approach you and say, "Hey, I like your style, just come with me"? Or
yeah.
Okay. And he's enough that you don't really hang out with him on the road. You just open for him, see him at the club. Say
no. It's not like I did a lot. I mean, I done like a couple 3-4 times on the road with him. So like he just takes me, and when we go on there, like we went to North Carolina, like a little mini tour that he had, and I was with him, so we definitely hung out because we're like, we had to go eat, we went, so we hung out. Yeah.
Did you guys also date the same girl?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, so Jay.
But I actually, again, I won because I was first.
Or did you? Did you lose because you were first and then I had her after?
No.
Okay. Jay Catapretta, not a girlfriend that we have in common, but a friend that we have in common. We've done stuff with her. Both of us in the past, we've done sketches and stuff online. What do you think about her being the new host of the Zoom? I mean, not the Zoom. Host of the Zoom.
Yeah, that's great. No, I think that's also an opportunity. I mean, it's like, it's amazing. It's great too, because especially that's a brand that's already established. So it's cool to just like be part of that. It's kind of like, I mean, not as big as like, the Tonight Show, but it's kind of like that because a lot of like hosts have, that were there became, have been famous through it, So that's awesome.
Have you seen her Instagram?
I mean, yeah, to see her, why?
Bro, it's all sexy pictures. You would think that she's like an Instagram model and stuff and not a comedian.
Well, that's, you gotta.
You got a great body, dude.
Sex sells, you know what I mean?
I think she has a beautiful figure. She should, she should definitely, if she feels comfortable.
That's the thing that's never gonna end in the world. Sex sells. I mean, to me, it's like.
And she's Brazilian too. She's South American, so she comes from a culture of, throw on a thong and just parade yourself around in the sun.
You don't like the thong?
No, I was supposed to have her on, so she was gonna be on Check It Out live at LATV, and it was the Friday that we all started locking down, and so they didn't ask me to cancel. I don't want to do a Zoom with her. I want to save it for her to come into the studio because I want to see her.
Oh, because you want to see the thong live.
I'm wasting all the Zoom ones on you and the rest of my friends that we, it's not about.
Hey, but the thing you don't know is like underneath, I'm wearing a thong right now. So you don't see it.
Okay. Well, then maybe I will have you. All right. Last thing. Oh, we're going back to the Pauly Shore thing. I ran into him at Running Canyon. And bro, he's like a real life tragedy a little bit. You know, I told him about the podcast and he was like really into getting the compliment. You know, you can tell he was really present. He just didn't want to, oh yeah, just tell me what
I don't know. Why do you say he's a tragedy? I think it's like a very, like, he's actually a success if you think about it.
He is, but this is what partly makes him a tragedy. He really wants to have a child. He really wants to get married. I mean, he's gotten laid a million times over, but he hasn't found love. He brings up his mom a lot on the podcast. You can tell he's...
Well, I mean, yeah, she was monumental to his success.
How did Mencia ever talk to you directly?
She only did a couple of times. I couldn't understand what she was saying because it was at the point of like where she was like really like gone. But like when I first started working there and like I would come, like she was sitting there at her chair and then, you know, and the guy who was Tommy, the guy who was a manager there, he'd be like, oh, Tommy, Mrs. Francisco. And she was like, you know, I couldn't understand what she was saying, but, you know, but apparently she passed me.
Okay.
But through like video or whatever, you know, like that's, so yeah, she was, it sucks because, yeah, I mean, that's such a great mind that you didn't get a chance to like see her in her full thing. But also, maybe I would have gotten fired because she was very ruthless too. You know what I mean? Like she was like, she would fire you just for not being funny.
Wow.
Like little like that. Like she would like be sitting there and you'd be like, nah, you're fired.
And did you get passed after you were on Last Comic Standing or before?
Oh no, that was completely before. I mean, no, I got passed early on. I got passed 2 years. I mean, 2 years into working there, you know. So like I was. No, that was the thing, bro. 2 years, man.
It's your accent. They were like,
so no, it was very quick. So it was before I get it. I mean, it was even either right when I got it or just before I got the Rio thing, which is the first thing that I did.
Dude, well, the Comedy Store right now, not now, right now with coronavirus, but a few months ago, I would say that the Comedy Store got to a point where it was one of the hottest clubs. I don't mean comedy clubs. I mean nightclubs. You went out, and there was a crowd outside, like if it was like, you know, a live on South Beach. Yeah,
no, it's crazy. Which is weird, like now, how after this thing, because that's basically like a comedy boom. There was a comedy boom. It's been like it happened in the 80s and you know, it kind of late 90s and early 2000s that nobody was going to the comedy clubs. So, you know, and this has been going on for like 2 or 3 years. So we'll see if that's gonna stay or now that dip comes back.
Big names. I mean, like, you know, we are talking about Joe Rogan before. His whole crew. You have Mark there. You have
no, the biggest of the biggest are there. The biggest of, I mean, like the Comedy Store is like, it's like the all-star game of like of any sports. It's like all the big.
Are you a pinch hitter or are you the backup third base?
I'm definitely on the bench right now, but I get in on the lineups. You know what I mean? So that's, to me, that's, and I'm very, very thankful of that because I know like where I am on the totem pole of like the things. I understand the business. Some people, to me, it's like, you can't expect, it'd be ridiculous for me to go like, hey, why I'm not getting more spots? It's like, who the fuck are you? Like, for like, and like the only way that you could say that if it's like, if you're in the level of a Tom Segura or a Delia and you're not getting spots, then there's something obviously like that wrong. But if you're not that person or you're not that person like Whitney Cummings, then like, you got to be thankful that you're there.
You know what's crazy about the Comedy Store when you go there and you mention these names? These are people with shows, they're executive producers, they have development deals. Like, I'm amazed that they go do these 15-minute spots. I'm amazed that, like,
no, because that's
go do these.
Why? Because to me that's a true.
It's cool, but
no,
but they don't just do like one headlining show every once in a while.
No, because that's not as a comic. That's not how you build your material. You have to do it like that. 15 minutes that's where you work out the new stuff. You don't want to go on. I mean, because then you can try out a couple of materials there and then that's it. And you leave, you know, you're not going to do an hour. I mean, when you do an hour is when you want to run the hour, which they do. It's like, oh, now I'm going to do an hour and run an hour. But also it's about it's about the community of like, it's kind of, again, it's been like in the best club with the best comics. So just to hang there, not even just to do your spot, but just to hang there and talk to the other, because most comics, we're always on the road. So we don't hang out with each other unless we go to the comedy store. So that's the hangout place. And also business-wise, that's where you can get like Neil could tell me, hey, you want to open for me? Or, hey, can you do this for me? Or, hey, you want to do that? You know, so it's a way also to get other stuff going. No, you know what I mean?
No, it's pretty impressive, man. You got to start flirting with Whitney Cummings, dude.
The what?
Flirt with Whitney Cummings.
Do I have to what?
You have to start flirting with Whitney Cummings.
Oh, no, she's married. She's about to get married.
Oh, to who?
I don't know, but she's engaged.
Some guy named Brad?
Maybe. Are you jealous?
Actually, I'm more into Natasha Leggero, so as soon as she breaks up with that guy Moshe, just like introduce her to me.
Yeah, you look like a... Well, you know, she went out with Ari Shafir, too.
That's another reason I hate him. Dude, let me tell you something.
Do you hate him because of the Kobe thing?
No. Let's go down the list because it's one person that because he thinks he's tough. He tried to beat up Bobby Lee, or he started punching Bobby Lee. But let me tell you something. One person, please, he's a lot bigger than me, so it's not like I'm picking on some guy. No, people would look at him and go, oh, no, you should. No, please, Ari Shafir, come punch me like you punched Bobby Lee. The one person I would love to, dude, the guy, I don't know, if he was more, I think, talented and respected, the Me Too movement would have got to him. Because the guy he talks so much shit about chicks, and the fact that he got up on stage while they were shooting a comedy special, and to Natasha Leggero's face, I don't know if you saw this, said, oh, she actually, she said how they broke up and how he came to the comedy store and said, oh, you don't belong here. And she saved them by saying, oh, you said you don't belong here. And then he chimes in and goes, I said more than that. I said, you don't belong here, you C-word. And it's like, and she makes his face like she's kind of almost embarrassed about it.
When was this?
This was, okay, he did, that comedy show that he had on.
Oh, the story one?
Yeah, that they shot at
a strip club. Yeah.
Right. And this was like before the Me Too thing, but it's like, and you've heard stories, bro. Like he thinks he's like some handsome, good looking guy, and that's Natasha Leggero's fault. I blame her. for not giving herself enough credit and sleeping with a guy like that.
Well, but she likes that style because I'm not saying that they're like ugly, but like the style, like she went out with him. She also went out with Duncan Trussell.
I like Duncan Trussell.
And so like she obviously has a style. We all have a style, you know what I mean?
And then the Kobe thing. And by the way, I've seen Ari Shafir perform a lot. I don't think he's funny. He doesn't make me laugh. Like he gets a rise out of people, and that's about it. So I have a thing with him, you know what I'm saying? And he wouldn't know who I am or give a shit, but if I... No,
but it's all, at the end of the day, it's yes, like we all have our, that's why comedy is subjective, and it's not, it's who you like and who you don't like.
If that guy ever gives you any attitude, you tell me, and I'll be your bodyguard.
Okay.
I'll fight him for you.
Yeah, you're not gonna like this, but he's always been nice to me.
I'm sure he is, but if that ever changes, I'll be your Joe Rogan.
All right, that sounds good.
Wait, last question, Venezuela. What do you think about Oh, by the way, people, I'm not drinking beer. This is yerba mate, okay? Because every time you're talking and saying something interesting, I keep making a mental note. Let people know I'm not drinking beer on camera.
Or I think it's just piss.
Shout out. It looks like it, doesn't it? Shout out to Guayaki. Hopefully you guys sponsor us soon. That was a freebie, guys. What do you think about the Venezuela thing, the arrest warrant being put out on the...
Well, I think it's like, to me, it's like, it's the timing of it. Because it's like, now you're going to do this, all the, like, Trump has been in office 3 years, almost 4 years, and now you're doing this. So it's kind of like, it's a little suspicious. And why is it? Because the Russia and Saudi Arabia have cut. They don't have production oil. Okay. So now, so to me, it's like it's two things, because I do like the fact that they're going out, because they're Maduro and they're all narcos, corrupt motherfuckers. But to me, it's also the timing of it. It's kind of like, okay, why now? Especially when everything's going on with the whole like pandemic and everything, and now.
But let's back up. I totally agree with you as far as that they want to start throwing distractions and things like that, and now is probably the time that they thought they could throw that out there. But how does the Russia and Saudi Arabia issue, where they're both basically trying to, I think Saudi Arabia is trying to ramp up oil production to lower the price of oil to screw Russia. How does that affect Venezuela?
Well, it affects Venezuela because then they don't, because right now there's no oil and there's no gasoline in Venezuela, which is so
you guys have
crazy.
The oil reserves.
You see how? But this is how fucked up this government is. They stole so much that they didn't put any money into the refineries. So Venezuela is not producing any oil right now.
But the oil's still on the ground, though.
Yeah, it is, but it's not produced. So right now, Venezuela, like right now, like there's no gas, there's no gasoline. You go to the gas station, there's no gasoline, and that's why it's crazy, right? It's crazy how corrupt this government is. That the only thing that they had, even to make money off, they screw it up.
Dude, it's gotta be a new day, bro.
No. Hopefully, I'm glad that this is happening. I mean, like again,
you can't go into Venezuela and arrest this guy. It's really just like a gesture, right?
No, it's not a gesture. I mean, because like if the guy goes outside of Venezuela, he gets arrested.
But he's not.
You know, no, it's not. But it's kind of like, I think what's gonna happen is like, you know, either somebody turns him in from his own group, or he or then there's some kind of like a you know, like, all right, we're gonna get arrested, but I go to Cuba and I stay there and something like that.
Finish that. Okay, I just realized we're getting the 40-minute mark, and I don't have the upgraded Zoom, so it's gonna stop recording after 40 minutes. Francisco Ramos, thank you very much. You've been at Check It Out.
Check it out.